Hello, good afternoon, and you're watching Market Fatafat on ET now with me, Vinny Motiwala, along with me, Cheryl D'Souza as well. Cheryl, a very good afternoon to you. And Nifty seems like, we're seeing that recovery at least coming from the day's lowest point. 19,500, not a bad level to actually go above as well, right? After seeing that 19,300, 200 near those levels. So it's good to hold on to the 19,500 for Nifty.
Absolutely, Vinny, a very good afternoon to you. And yes, not a bad level you're saying, but it's a great level actually to surpass, given the fact that we had seen some tad bit of weakness come in the markets set in. But today we have actually recovered very, very smartly from the day's lowest point. Remember, around 11 o'clock or so, we did dip into the negative territory. But from there on right now, as you can see on your screen, we are actually building on to gains at the day's highest point coming in for the benchmark indices. Broader markets are charting their own course because broader markets have actually been on a high, on a tear since the word go. Take a look at what small cap index is doing at this point in time, smartly outperforming the benchmark indices, in fact even outperforming mid cap index. Your small cap index that's trading higher by about 1.5% as we speak. Nifty Bank as well is actually trying to regain its mojo. That one also is near the day's highest point. If you look at the advance decline ratio, very much tilted still in the favor of the advances. Let's break it down and let's talk about individual sectors then. And if you look at the sectoral indices, in fact, all of the sectors are recovering from the day's lowest point. Take a look at FMCG index. It was among the top sectoral loser. Right now is actually trying to break into the positive territory. Auto index, which hit a record high level intraday basis, did dip into the negative territory, but now you can see some sort of a recovery kick in for the auto index as well. The shining spot, definitely, and shining rightly so, is the commodities pack, be it the steel players, be it the aluminium players. All of them seeing exceedingly smart moves in today's trading session. 2.3% uptick coming for metal index, and that has hit a record high level in today's trading session. PSU bank index, IT index, realty index are the other set of good gainers in trade today. So yes, Vinny, a smart recovery coming in for the benchmark indices, 90,500 scale for Nifty, as well as metals are taking the lead.
Absolutely. But on that note, let's get started with all the stocks that are buzzing in trade, either on the back of news flows or on the back of technicals. And on the technicals, today we're joined by Sameet Chavan, while from the research team, we have Harsh as well as Ankita joining in with us. A good afternoon to all three of y'all as well. And as always, I'll be starting with the first stock, and that is actually, I'm starting with the steel pack. You just spoke about those metal names that are shining, right? And specifically, we have the steel names that are buzzing in trade as well. And there was a news for that came in that, that is why Tata Steel, JSW Steel, all these names are in focus because India has primarily the primary long steel mills once again have hiked the rebar prices by around 1,500 to 2,500 rupees per ton for the month of September. Now, when you look at it, RINL, ECL, JSW have increased the prices by rupees 1,500, 2,000 and 2,500 respectively per ton. Now, JSW Steel's rebar prices, when you look at that, now that stands at around 56,500 rupees per ton. This is excluding the Mumbai prices. Rebar prices have jumped 11% in the past 1 month on better demand. Obviously, let's not forget, no rains is leading to some bit of a restocking over there, and positive sentiment is working up for these players. And this is the fifth hike that we've seen coming in 5 weeks. And since early August, cumulative hike has been on the tune of around 3,500 to 3,700 rupees per ton. So on the back of that, we're keeping an eye out on all these steel stocks today.
Alright, so that's steel stocks that are buzzing in trade today, but let's shift focus. Let's talk about Shakti Pumps because that particular counter is seeing a very smart run in today's trading session. So let's take a look at what exactly Shakti Pump is doing at this point in time. As I said, smart up move coming in for that particular counter in today's trading session. It has actually gained as much as 7.9% on an intraday basis, hitting the highest level since August 31st. What exactly the company has informed the exchanges today is the fact that they've actually bagged a patent for one of their products. So the patent that they've received is for a high starting torque direct line operated energy efficient motors, and this basically patent that they've got is from the government of India, and the patent is set to maintain its validity for a duration of about 20 years. So on back of this patent, you can see the stock is pretty perked up in trade today, 7.9% intraday basis, right now holding on to gains of 5% as we speak.
Okay, let's move on to the next one, and that is on the first stock of the technicals, and you picked up Steel Authority of India, Sameet, or SAIL as we know it as. What are the charts now indicating for SAIL? What are the expectations in terms of target levels? Last 6 months, almost 20% return. How much more upside is left here?
Good afternoon, Vinny. See, overall, if you see out of those 20%, we can see this, move coming in last 3-4 days itself. Clearly, the entire metal pack is on a roll, considering last 4 to 5 days price movement. If we specifically talk about, Steel Authority, it has been, hovering around 84, 86 kind of mark, where there's a cluster of strong, support, which coincides with the 200-day simple moving average, 89 exponential moving average, and now in last couple of days the stock has literally took off. So if you see, overall looking at the price and volume movement, the stock seems to have come out of its long slumber phase, and from here on will not be surprised to see this stock heading towards 108, 110 in probably next couple of weeks time. So overall the bias remains positive. Yes, since it had a steep rally in last 2 to 3 trading sessions, risk reward will not be favorable. So any minor dip towards 198 would be a good buying opportunity. 108, 110, these are the next levels to watch out for.
Alright, so that's the take coming in on sale. Ankita, let's talk about GMR Power and why is this one in the focus today?
Well, Cheryl, look at the stock. It's buzzing in trade. It's up 20%. It's locked in upper circuit since morning. Now, the news behind this is the fact that the subsidiary GMR Smart Electricity Distribution has received a letter of award from Purvanchal Vidyut Vitran Nigam to implement smart metering project in the region of Purvanchal in Uttar Pradesh. Now, the total contract value for the Prayagraj and the Mirzapur zone is about 2,386 crores, and for Varanasi and Azamgarh zone is about 2,700 crores. And on the back of this contract, the stock is completely firing on all cylinders, locked in upper circuit, up 20% in trade today.
Okay, let's move on to the next stock, and stock number 4 for today. We're going to talk about IRFC. Harsh, and why is this one in focus today? What's the news for you?
Well, yes. So, Vinny, we had a block deal which has happened earlier today morning, where around 1.96 crore shares have exchanged hands. 13 bunch transactions is what we're seeing in IRFC, which is why you're seeing a spike on the stock, in fact, hitting upper circuit as well. So you're seeing IRFC at an all-time high. So that's point number one. Point number two, the cumulative block deal comprises around 0.2% of the equity shares. Of course, buyer sellers unknown, but at the moment, of course, IRFC up and away.
Alright, that's IRFC, and not just IRFC that is buzzing in trade. The entire railway pack is actually a buzz in today's trading session. But Sameet, let's move away from the railway pack and let's go on to the insurance pack, LIC. How is this one looking on the charts to you over the last 6 months, trying to actually try to regain some lost ground? But do you think that this much is enough?
So this is basically LIC Housing Finance, that is there on our watch list. LIC Housing Finance, if we talk about recently, the stock has performed exceedingly well. There has been a series of higher highs, higher lows that can be witnessed on the daily time frame chart. And today the stock managed to surpass its strong hurdle of 440, 442 with some intensity. So looking at the weekly time frame chart, we expect this stock to now enter a new territory. So probably it's a multi-month territory that we are tracking right now. 472 to 480, these are the next levels to watch out for. Obviously, it's a medium-term view that we are holding on this particular counter. With a short-term view, 460, 465, these are the next levels to watch out for. And with a slightly broader view, as I said, 480, 485 seems to be clearly on cards.
Let's move on and talk about the next stock, that is Hindalco, that is in focus, and it's buzzing in trade. Why? Because there's an acquisition they've made of 26% stake in Seven Renewable Power Private Limited. This is to develop and operate captive power generation. Now, the cash consideration that the company will be giving is going to be of a cash consideration. Plus, there's a total of 3,25,000 equity shares, which are going to be at a face value of 10 rupees per share as well, to get this 26% shareholding. So, on the back of this, we are keeping an eye out on Hindalco today, up and away in trade, trading with gains of almost 3.5% as we speak.
That's Hindalco for you, but let's talk about Nalco, Sameet. And yes, you're seeing a furious rally in the metal counters in today's trading session, and Nalco is no less. Also, this particular counter saw an up move of as much as 6% or so only in today's trading session. Over the last 6 months, 26% uptick coming in for Nalco. Do you see scope for further upside?
Yes, certainly. Although the low-hanging fruit is already gone, it's worth mentioning because the kind of breakout that we are observing on daily as well as weekly time frame charts, and importantly, it is backed by stronger volume. So from here on, as far as Nalco is concerned, 112 and 115. These are the next level that we are eyeing in probably next couple of weeks time for national aluminium. So any minor dip towards 102 to 98 would make it an attractive, risk to reward candidate. And yes, will not be surprised to see this, stock continuing this momentum probably in the near term. And with a slightly broader view, 118, 120, these are the next levels to watch out.
All right, let's shift focus. Let's talk about Subros because that particular counter was soaring in today's trading session and it also hit a highest level since July 10th. And a biggest intraday jump is what it registered since June 21st. That is when the stock actually soared approximately 13%. Right now, as you can see, the stock has given up those gains, but the sharp spike that you can see on the charts, and the reason for the sharp spike that the company logged is because it has developed an electric air conditioning system with an integrated battery management system for hydrogen cell bus application. And remember, Subros is a key player in the bus air conditioning systems, and with this product system, it also goes ahead and exports its products to international markets and has presence in select global regions. So on back of this particular development, you saw the stock see a sharp spike of as much as 30%, but it's given up some of these gains, nevertheless holding on to gains of about 4% as we speak.
Absolutely. Let's move on to the next one, and that is going to be UltraTech Cement. And obviously, we have a cement channel check also suggesting in terms of the demand because the rains were not there, so that is why that was supporting in terms of demand trends for these cement players. But on the charts, UltraTech Cement, how is that looking like to you, Sameet? And what is the upside that we should be seeing here now?
In fact, when within the cement space, this has been one of the rank outperformance of late. Most of the, cement counters underwent some sort of, price as well as time correction, but this stock has been maintaining its sturdy structure. Recently, we saw some, brief pause in this particular counter, but it rested around its 89 exponential moving average, and then from there on, we are witnessing a good recovery mode. Stock is on the verge of a breakout and is likely to enter an uncharted territory. So overall, the bias, yes, remains positive, and as far as levels are concerned, 87.50, 87.80, these are the next levels. We are expecting an UltraTech cement in the near term. At current juncture, the stock has already surpassed its important level, and we recommend buy with a stop around 80 to 80, and target, as I said, the positional target would be around 88.
All right, moving on then, let's talk about Deepak Fertilizers. Ankita, how is this one, or why is this one in news today?
That's correct, Cheryl. Deepak Fertilizer is in focus today and it is up 3%, 3.4% in trade today, and that is on the back of the news that the company has signed 2 gas purchase agreements with GAIL, and the company's gas requirements for the next 3 years have been tied up with a gas basket consisting of a combination of Brent, HH and domestic linked for a risk mitigated basket, and on the back of that, Deepak Fertilizers and Petrochemicals will be in focus today.
Okay, that was stock number 10 for you all. That is Deepak Fertilizer. But let's move on and talk about latently on the charts then. And Sameet, what are you picking up in terms of the technicals over here? But 28% return is what we've seen in the last 6 months. Especially it has gathered pace in terms of the up move in the last 1-2 months itself. So now, do you think this upside is here to stay, or maybe a slight bit of a correction is something that could be expected?
It is likely to sustain at least in the near term. Because the recent rally is backed by stronger volumes, and the volumes have been consistent in this entire rally, so that suggests some sort of buying interest that has come in this particular counter. On the weekly time frame chart, stock has already surpassed its all important moving averages, and if you look at the momentum oscillators, the RSI smoothened is placed upward, so that suggests that this trend is likely to continue in the near term as well. We like this counter for a short-term target of 490, and as a disclosure, we have recommended this to our clients as well. The stop loss can be placed around 436.5, and 490 is the level that we are expecting in the near term.
All right, that is the view coming in on latent view. Harsh, RVNL, why is this one in the spotlight today? Like I said, all the railway stocks are on fire, this one no less.
Well, yes, absolutely, Cheryl. A couple of order wins coming in for RVNL. From Madhya Gujarat Vij Company Limited, 2 orders, one of 280 282 odd crore and the other one of 322 odd crore. So you're seeing a total cumulative order win of roughly 600 crore for RVNL coming in, and that spike in that stock seems to justify that order win. Also, with regard to its cumulative revenue, in fact, it clocked a quarterly revenue of around 5,600 odd crore. So that 600 odd crore order is quite large. The tenure for that order is 31 months. And that's the execution timeline. So broadly, on the back of an order win, RVNL in focus.
Let's move on and talk about IT name and Sameet, the LTI Mindtree. What is your view now on this one? Should we start finally expecting a good and a sharper up move for all these IT companies and LTI Mindtree specifically?
Yes, when in fact we have been advocating this particular space since last 1.5 months, when they were clearly one of the draggers. This particular space has already seen some early signs of revival, and as far as LTI Mindtree is concerned, this has been one of the outperforming stocks within this space of late. So it's on the verge of a breakout, and breakout from multi-month resistance level. We like this counter. As far as levels are concerned, 5550, 5600. These are the next levels to watch out for. And as a trader, one can buy at current level also, keeping the stop loss around 50 to 80, because the previous resistance would now act as a very strong support. So 50 to 80 can be considered as a stop loss, and target to watch out for would be around 55, 50 to 50.
Okay, keep an eye out on those target levels for LTI Mindtree. Let's move on and talk about Maharashtra Seamless, and why is this one in focus? The stock is actually trading at an all-time high during the intraday trade. It's managed to gain for the 5th consecutive day as well. And why is that so? Because over the weekend they said that they have won an order of around 157 crores. This is from Oil India as well as IOCL, and this is going to be for the supply of seamless pipes. And on the back of this order win of around 150 crores, the company is in focus. It's trading with gains after this 157 crore order win. As of now, trading with gains of 1.82%, yes, off those all-time high levels, but still managing to hold on to good gains of around 1.8%.
All right, that is Maharashtra Seamless. Sameet, the next stock that you want to talk about is PNB, or is it PNB Housing Finance?
No, it's the bank, PNB, Punjab National Bank. Overall, if you see, the PSU banking space has been doing well since last 5 to 6 months. This has been one of the rank outperformers. If you see its overall structure, stock has already given good rally, a couple of months back, which was followed by some consolidation, and the stock has now come out of its long consolidation phase on Friday itself. So today we are seeing a good follow-up move. 74 to 75 we probably expect in next couple of weeks time. So another 10% move is clearly on cards. As a momentum trader, one can buy at current level. 65.50 would be a stop loss level, and 72 would be a momentum trade, and 75 would be a positional target for this counter.
All right, so that's the view coming in on PNB. Let's shift focus. Let's talk about Kaplan Point, because that particular counter is in focus in today's trading session. And why is Kaplan Point in news today? Is one of the reasons why is because they've informed the exchanges that a subsidiary of the company that it has received an EIR from US FDA for its injectable and ophthalmic manufacturing facility, which is located near Chennai. The unit actually underwent an inspection from the US FDA during May 22nd to about May 31st, and the inspection classification was determined by the agency as voluntary action indicated. But now they've informed the exchanges that they've got EIR for that particular unit, and on back of that you saw the stock actually move in trade, but nevertheless is subdued 2.5% down.
Let's move on to the next one, and Sameet, one more IT name, and that is HCL Tech that you've picked out for us. Are the charts similar to something like an LTI Mindtree, or what is it that you're expecting here?
Yes, quite similar, and in fact within the large cap space, this has been one of the strong outperforming counter. This has been clearly bucking the trend if you see the overall performance of TCS and Infosys. So HCL Tech clearly seems pretty sturdy. Recently we saw some consolidation, but again that momentum has been resumed in this counter, and today we are seeing massive surge in this counter, which has confirmed a breakout from bullish cup and handle pattern. So the target of this particular configuration of this pattern would be around 1420. So this seems on cards in next probably couple of weeks time. So overall, the bias remains positive, and as a momentum trader, yes, I would recommend buying at current levels. Stop loss would be around 1170 and 1340 to 1400. These are the next levels to watch out for.
Alright, so that's the take coming in on HCL check. But Ankita, let's talk about Shree Cement, and this one is a buzz in today's trading session. What's fueling the up move?
Well, that's correct, Cheryl. It is a note by Nomura that came out today, and they have upgraded the stock to buy from reduce, and they've hiked the target price to 28,700 from 20,400. And we can see the stock is up 5% in trade. Now, according to Nomura, they feel that they've upgraded the stock owing to the reduced cost optimization, stronger capacity growth, and change in the management. They also feel these factors are structural, and they believe that it will drive the earnings growth for the company going ahead. They also feel that the veteran returns too will be driving the company's growth, and the balance sheet will remain strong despite the elevated capex. And on the back of that, we can see the stock is buzzing in trade, up 5%.
Okay, let's move on to the next one. And Harsh, coming to you, 5-star is the next stock that you're going to talk to us about. Why is it in focus?
Well, yes, so on Friday, multiple block deals on 5-star. In fact, we had HDFC Mutual Fund as the meaningful, significant buyer. 41 lakh shares exchanged and bought up by HDFC Mutual Fund. You had several sellers as well, but before that, this 41 lakh shares comprise around 1.4% of the equity capital of 5-star. So clearly, that's a significant chunk that was exchanged and bought up. Within the HDFC Mutual Fund basket, it was HDFC Midcap Opportunities Fund, which has actually bought these shares. The sellers being the likes of Norwest Ventures, Matrix Partners, as well as TPG Asia, all of which were sellers on this one.
Right. Actually, coming back to you, Sameet, we had Ankita talk about Shree Cement and the take of Nomura on that particular counter. That's why the stock saw a sharp spike, and we can notice that spike in today's line graph as well. But if you look at the last 6 months, it's been pretty disappointing for Shree Cement. Where do you think the stock is headed from here on?
See, clearly this has been a laggard, in last few months. Today, this stock managed to surpass, its important hurdle of 24,500 with some authority. Overall, if you see, the stock is stuck in a range, broad range, 26,500, 27,000 on the higher side, on the low side, 20,000. So the kind of momentum that we are seeing today, it is quite possible that the stock would retest its, upper boundary, which is around 26,500, 27,000. So bias, yes, continues to remain positive. We do not have any trade setup on this counter, but those who have been holding it, they continue to hold, and 26,500, 27,000, these are the probably next levels to watch out for.
Alright, so that's the take coming in on Shree Cement. That's Sameet's take coming in on Shree Cement. Let's shift focus. Let's talk about team leads, and that particular counter is in focus in today's trading session. As you can see on your screen, 3% uptick at day's highest point for team leads. Why is this sort of an up move coming in on that particular counter? Is because Antique has come out with a note where they've actually raised the target price to 3,800 rupees from 2,700 rupees currently. What they are saying is that general staffing is expected to see a strong growth in the coming quarters, and therefore they are seeing robust hiring in Q2 as well as Q3 due to the festive season. What Antique is also noting is the margin should improve for team leads from Q2 onwards, and on back of that particular positive note coming in from Antique, you can see team leads that is buzzing in trade. Stock has in fact hit our highest levels since June 3rd on back of this particular development.
Okay, that was stock number 21. But on that note, viewers, you're going to slip into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more stocks after the break.